Ahem. Let's go, YouTube. Let's get this going. Come on, YouTube. Let's go. Let's party. There it is. Hello. Hello, hello. We're streaming much earlier than usual just because I feel like it, because I really want to finish it. Listen, I was gonna go grocery shopping today, alright? I was going to do that. And then I woke up at 12. So those plans went out the window. That's in combination with some other stuff that I'm not going to mention in a stream, especially like 10 seconds in a stream. Mostly it's because I woke up at 12, which was much later than usual. But that's because I didn't go to bed till like 5:30 a.m. last night. And even then, I forced myself to go to bed at 5:30 a.m. because I wasn't tired. I have been consistently tired around like 2 and like 1 and 2 a.m. all week. But for some reason last night, even by 5:30 a.m., I wasn't tired. I had to force myself to just lay down and go to bed because I didn't like want to sleep. Like if I wanted to, I could have just stayed up all night, honestly. But then I didn't. So then I slept and then I woke up at 12. So because of that, I was like, well, now I don't want to go to the store. It's like way too late in the day. I want to do other things. So it's been a little weird. So I'm like, I want to color now. I'm on the coloring phase, so that's not as much work, you know? Not as strenuous. So yeah, here I am. That's my backstory. Hi, welcome. Hello, I'm streaming at it's 2 p.m. where I am, which is way earlier than I normally stream. And we're gonna just do it. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna do it. One of the people I'm making a gift for is in the stream. Hi, Chinema. So we'll just color this babe. That's what we'll do. And all of you can suffer with me. But did I use the right color here? Because it keeps looking. I think it's just my lines, but I think my lines make this look like a lot more red than it is. Because it's not. See, it's not red. It's a very normal skin tone. But it's like it looks red almost on with my lines, but it's not. It's fine. We're fine. We're gonna do shit. We're gonna party. This Callister detective over here. By the way, this is not, like, even related to anything. But, like, right before this happened, right before I even started this, I was watching some YouTube videos, and I saw an ad that was, like, a full animated mini-movie. And it was fucking dark and, like, amazing. And I was like, what the hell is this? I literally watched the entire thing because it was like 4 minutes. And like I watched the entire thing because I was like, where the hell, like not only was I interested, but also I was like, what the fuck is this from? Like it's animated, it's really cool, it's really dark, it's got some clear like lore and world building and shit. So I just kept like watching it. I was like, please tell me what show, what internet series, what is this from? What like where can I find this to watch more of this? It's from fucking AFK Arena? And I was like, what? Like what do it's and I was like baffled. I sat through 4 minutes for an ad for AFK Arena and I didn't know until the very end. And I'm like, but that was so cool. And I was distraught. I don't know if anyone could even find it. It was like this whole thing about like this kid that was like being sacrificed to some dark god, and the mom was like desperately protesting, and then this god like came down from the heavens and like exploded on the scene. The woman like runs up to him and is like, please save him, he's your son. And I'm like, oh, that's a fucking twist, because I was invested at this point. And I was like, but he just like looks at her and looks at the kid who's being like consumed by this dark god or whatever, and is like, the gods have chosen, and like it's implied that he like strikes it with lightning and kills the sun and the dark god or whatever. I'm literally just explaining the ad. Please, like, if you, I don't know, look out AFK Arena ad or something. It's really fucking cool. And like, it's one of those things where it's like everything is cinematically so good and put together, it gives you goosebumps, because it's like he did that and he killed the kid, so you think that's like, you know, maybe that's where the ad ends, or it leaves you on a cliffhanger, and so it implies you to watch more. No, 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 we're getting a full story here, because like this happens, there's this big crazy magic explosion, and then he like turns away and walks away. The mom, it like lifts her head up out of like the rubble and is like distraught as she crawls over to try and find her son, and he's nowhere to be found, and she's like in tears, and then like the shadowy silhouette of her son. I'm so sorry for people who are just coming into this, by the way. This is so out of context. But like the dark, like shadowy, evil silhouette of her son, like whispers dark thoughts about like how the gods are evil, and she just yells like, "Just take me," which is like one of those cinematic moments where you're like, "Whoo!" And so it's like the evil god, like shadow stuff swirls around. So again, you think that's where it ends. It ends on a cliffhanger, like, oh, what happened to the mom? That's where we're gonna be told to go, like, buy, like, watch the show or play whatever game this is from, right? 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 No! There's another full minute of this ad where it, like, cuts back to the god dude who's walking away, and, like, he's walking back, and she just fucking dashes towards him to stab him with the sword, and she becomes this like dark demon, like evil lady who looks fucking badass, by the way. And like they have this epic battle for like the last minute of this advertisement. And they like it's this hardcore battle where she like deeply wounds him in the shoulder, and she says like this shit where it was like, the gods aren't blind, they just don't care. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because again, up until this point, this ad had not told me what this is from. I don't like, I'm like, what series is this from? And then like, finally it ends with this epic like scene of them standing like about to have like more battle or whatever. And it cuts to just AFK Arena. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, that was fucking amazing. You're just gonna tell me this is from a game where that's like not about that? I don't know. I mean, then again, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I have to play AFK Arena now, apparently. Cause like, what the fuck? I'm sorry this is like such a random thing to start this stream off on, but I like can't process. I watched this and I can't process or cope with what I just witnessed because it was so cool and I need a whole series about it, please. I was like, oh my god. I didn't know how to handle it. Someone please, like, I don't know. Someone just go watch don't do it, it's not good. I mean, I would assume such. It seemed like pretty a typical, like, RPG idle game, whatever the hell, I don't know. Like, it didn't really interest me. But I'm like, I didn't expect that, like, a fucking ad that's, like, this cinematic lore shot of a video game to, like, suddenly just end with AFK Arena. Like, it's just fucking, I don't even understand. All I know is that my life has been changed forever after watching this, like, epic battle that is better than 90% of things I've tried to write. And I don't know how to handle it. Anyway, how are you all doing? I apologize for starting on that distraught ramble. I needed to cope. I needed a therapy session was what I needed after that. Just too crazy for me. I mean, clearly, like, listen, based on just looking at it, it's kind of almost clear to me that it was, like, it's one of those it's like based on the lore from the game or something like that, you know? It's not actually a part of the fucking game, but like, I don't know. Damn, I'd play a fucking like whole game about it. If that was just what it was, I'd watch a whole show about it. Everyone was talking about how they want me to like I should watch like Blood of Zeus or whatever. I'm like, I'd watch a whole show about that. About just like gods and humans battling it out. Epic combat, you know, that's my shit. Let's just go with that color. That seems to match it slightly better. Just keep it up to less colors. Whatever smart character design, I don't fucking know. I'm just distraught. I'm like, I didn't expect my day to start like this. I've been awake for how long? I've been awake for what? I've been awake for since 12. I've been awake for 2 hours, and that was my day today. Just finding an advertisement for apparently an idol fucking game that was fucking amazing and like a cinematic masterpiece of a short film. Like, that's a fucking amazing short film. It makes me so confused. Like, that thing could have just ended where it was like, that's our short film, that's it. This ad is literally just so people can watch our short film, and I would have like been amazing. Subscribed, I'm ready, give me more. But no, it was for AFK Arena. And I just don't understand. I don't know. No, I'm not even advertising AFK Arena. All I'm saying is that please go watch that ad. Please just go watch that ad so you can understand how I feel inside. See, that's what we need to do. It's like, I'm not recommending anyone go play AFK Arena. I don't know. I'm not shitting on it either because I've never played it. But, like, this isn't an ad. This isn't an ad for AFK Arena, but, like, please go watch that fucking ad they did because it's a masterpiece and the animators and people who worked on that shit need some praise. Because that was fucking good and I hope they got paid enough. Yeah, I saw someone mention Genshin Impact. I actually haven't played it and I don't really have a lot of interest to, which sucks because currently right now a lot of the circles I'm in are like on Twitter and stuff are like really into it and that's the hype now and it sucks because it's just not really my type of thing. Uh I not really like I don't know. I super like anime-esque games don't entirely appeal to me a whole lot. Like, cause the character designs are like cool, you know, but they don't really make me feel very like interested. Like honestly, I hate to be that person, but like the most interesting character design for me that I've even seen from Genshin Impact to me for my own flavor. I'm not shitting on anyone who likes the anime aesthetic and all that, but like it's the grandma character. That's like the most interesting character to me that like stands out to me from that game. Again, not at all like this isn't me saying that like anybody's tastes are bad. It's just not a game that really appeals to mine. I might saturate. Speaking of like anime style, I might saturate some of these colors because they're good colors. It's just my art style does not entirely like these hang on. I may may just do a little bit of that. Just a tiny bit. Just a little bit for flavor. Just because my line art doesn't like the pastels as much. Hello, welcome back. We're all live again. Well, the stream is live. My soul is not alive. My soul is perishing after that AFK Arena ad. Oh, goodness. Anyway, with that ramble out of the way, if anyone, like that deranged ramble, I should say, if anyone has like random stuff they want to ask or whatever, as always, you're welcome to. These streams are just for chatting and kind of vibing. I prefer not having the silence, so I guess I need to get better at like coming up with conversation topics if people don't ask me questions. But yeah, if anybody wants to like just chat and ask shit, you know, feel free. Oh, I didn't even color the belt buckle. Dang it. I'll get back to that in a second. Yes, you have a question. Yes, Flame, please. Save me with a question. And I feel like I know where this is going. How am I? I'm fine. I had a crisis a little bit ago because I was lamenting about an ad I saw this morning. By this morning, I mean like literally 10 minutes ago. I was because I was distraught because it was a fantastic ad with like this very deep lore and shit to it. And it was for a game that at all does not have that same level of storytelling in it, as far as I'm aware. So I was bemoaning how, like, what a whiplash I had gone through. But bemoaning isn't a word. I don't know why I'm making up words. Who gave me the right to make up bullshit words? Okay, now the question is, should I just color these all and then go back and do shading, or should I do shading now? I'm leaning towards maybe just going through and coloring as many as I can, and then I can go back and do shading later. I'm not really sure what I can do 100%. Is it not? Maybe bemoaning is. I don't know. Sometimes I just say things and I just kind of hope they're words because I might have heard them once before, maybe. That's usually how I go. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm just going to color as many of these as I can. Is it a word? Oh, I really just said a word on accident and I doubted myself. That ain't the story of my life. Alright, the person I'm coloring this character for has spoken. Thank you, Chinema. Thank you for your wisdom. My royal advisor. Alright, well, since Flame's here, I guess we're doing this one next. We're doing the most complicated character next. Let's just do it. Let's just do the scratches first before I forget about them. Reject words, embrace noise. Okay. These will show up more when I color the line out, I swear. Just gotta give it time. No, it's too late, Flame. It's already happening. I'm already doing it. It's too late. You have no say in this. The council has decided the fate. We will color the belts on this day. We'll color the belts, I say, as I start to color the hair. That is just par for the course for me. Just working our way down, I think. I'm taking some liberties here. I'm going to be taking some liberties. Apologies, my friend. I will be taking some liberties with these glasses, just a little bit. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Just a wee bit, just a wee bit. Well, I won't be able to text and chat as much because I gotta do some stuff, but no, I'm in here with my belts. I will know, Flame, thank you. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so she's wearing like fingerless gloves. A lot of the characters I've been drawing in this have fingerless gloves for some reason. Which I'm not complaining, I'm just making note of it. Acknowledging its existence. Am I streaming on my bed? Listen to me, okay? Listen. Yes, I don't have any defense. I was gonna like come into some kind of like bullshit defense, I have none. The answer is yes. Which is bad. I don't listen to don't follow my example, kids. Don't do it. Don't stream from your bed. I'm just being bad. Da, 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 da. Kind of trying to color block here. She's got a lot going on, so I need to like kind of just understand where I'm putting everything color-wise. Don't draw in your bed. I listen, I'm a bad example. I'm a very bad example. I acknowledge I'm a bad example. It's just a thing I do, and unfortunately for me, it's been more comfortable than desks. I don't like... I should clarify, when I do this from my bed, it's not like I'm sitting in a super weird, like, position, whatever. I sit with, like, fairly good posture when I sit from my bed. I have a whole fucking, like, pillow that I rest on and sit up against, you know? So, like, don't misinterpret me. I'm not just, like, hunched over all shrimp style, like, coloring from my bed, whatever. Plus, when I do it from my bed, part of the thing I like is the fact of the mobility. I can change positions. So, like, if for some reason I'm like, oh, I've been sitting like this too long, I can very quickly change positions, which is not something I can do as easily from a chair. There's a... I'm not, again, I would not use me as an example. I would not Just follow my word. Don't stream from beds, kids. Don't draw in your bed if you can help it. But I would like to clarify I'm not entirely irresponsible. Okay. You have like this one, which is like that color, and then you have fucking this one, which is this color. Right. We're figuring it out. And then the ones on the sleeves, well, the belts themselves are like this color. Right. But then the actual books are this color, which makes everything more complicated. And then the gloves are this color. Yes. We're figuring it out. We're getting places. Phew. Gosh, I've been watching a lot of D&D like horror stories and stuff lately. Just for like background noise, just because I'm in a very D&D mood at the late. Um, it makes me, I swear though, like one of the things that sucks is I want to share stories and stuff too. Like, because I have some that I find like that I think would be funny and kind of interesting and stuff like that. I don't have a whole lot because I haven't had like a total. I haven't been playing for that long as a player in D&D. But I have just like a few that I find interesting or I think would be like interesting conversation topics. But it sucks because like I've played so many online games. There are just like the two stories that I have that I find to be like interesting and like funny, not like in a bad way. Because I should even clarify, they're not like stuff that makes me like genuinely mad or like they're like super gross or disgusting. They're just kind of like, to me now, they're just kind of funny. But I can't share them because because the people I played with were online for the like two stories I have. I'm like, it makes me I don't want to like do it because I'm like I don't even think the people they're about would even find like actually know that it happened because I don't really think they watch my channel, but like I could be wrong. I don't think they watch it anymore, I should say. Just because I haven't like all I do is just kind of art streams and stuff where I just ramble for like 2 hours. But I don't know. Someday I will share them though. Someday like way, way in the future. Put them on a subreddit anonymously or something. I don't fucking know. I guess I do have one, I guess. I have, it's not really that crazy though. It was just because there's only one session I've had like in real life that I guess like I could share without assuming that those people like don't even know I'm online. I remember I had one, I mean, I guess I'll just share it. Why not? I'm alluding to it. I had one where I ran this one shot at school. Like I had my school had D&D. This was like way, way, way before the pandemic. And I started DMing for this thing, and the whole idea was that we were all like, everybody was every other week was like teleported to the same tavern at this tower or whatever, and we would do different rooms, and it was just one shots, but with like a consistent location so that like you could rotate who was playing with who and yada yada yada. And so I wanted to DM and stuff, so I had started DMing and like other things there just for fun because I was liking DMing and I wanted to do it more. And at one point we got the option, DMs were given the option in the group where we could essentially make our own floor because we were making, like, everybody was like leveling up and going to the next thing. So like DMs were asked if they could like make ideas for floors and submit them as stuff. So me and this other person, I'll call them, I guess to just keep it anonymous, me and this other person, I don't know, we'll call them G, I guess. We had both made floors. Now, something that I had really liked was that me and G had made completely different floors. Like, we were polar opposites in what we wanted to make. I made a floor that was, like, meant to have, like, alternate routes. I had, like, a good ending, like, a great ending, a mediocre ending, and then, like, a bad ending. And you could complete the floor in any of those ways. It was just like, you know, if you got the bad ending, you would get less loot, but you would still pass the floor, you know? And it was all just with the intention of, like, because I like letting people play and complete things in, like, different ways. Like, I like there being more options than just, you have to fight. Like, you have to kill this thing, you have to, or you won't win. Like, I like giving players the options, especially because I at the time, I had, like, a lot of friends who really liked playing in ways where it's like, oh, I want to try and befriend this thing. You know, it's not like you could always, like, get her out of everything, you know? And, but I like having the options. It was funny, though, because the other person who had made the other room, was, like, the complete opposite. He actually made a room that was intentionally made to where, like, it would punish you for trying to be nice. Because from what he said, he was actually very sick of players who would be like, oh, but I want to try and befriend the monster. Which is, like, completely opposite of me. But, like, I actually thought it was very funny because both our rooms were, like, on the same floor, and the idea was that you had to beat both of our rooms and then, like, the final boss room before you could advance to the next, like, the next floor in this tower thing. So for me, I was like, look at that. That's so cool. I like that contrast. You know, I don't really necessarily have the same, like, sentiments that he does about, like, players saying they want to befriend stuff, but I can respect his style, and I can respect, him making the room how he wants to play it. And I also thought that the contrast between us was really kind of funny because I was like, it's funny how, like, my room is kind of encouraging you to be nice and yours is, like, punishing them for being nice. I thought it was a fun yin and yang in that regard. So that being said, that long, like, setup out of the way, we were, okay, because we were running the rooms again. This was the second time I had run this floor. I had run this one shot for, like, a different group already, and I was running it for another one. And it was very, like, they were both very, very fun. Very, very fun. And there was a character in the one shot at the table. There was this player who was playing, this very chaotic character. And I want to just, like, set up what this character is because I want to explain kind of my thought process with all of this. He was playing this character, we're going to call him B. B was playing this character who was, like, a crazy, like, he said chaotic neutral. I very much argued while we were in the session that I think his character is pretty chaotic evil, but, you know, that's, like, neither here nor there. It's just, like, I can't think of a lot of, like, chaotic neutral characters that would, like, buy a horse from someone and then rip that horse in half when it was a perfectly healthy, normal horse, like just to wear it. Nor can I think of a chaotic neutral character that would be so adamant about getting a prize and killing a monster in order to be satisfied with the end of an encounter. But that's just me. It's neither here nor there. That wasn't like an argument or anything we had. It was just like, personally, I think that character was chaotic evil, not chaotic neutral, the way he was played. But that's besides the point. Now, it was kind of, he's one of those characters that would be classified as a murder hobo. If anyone, you don't know what that means, they're the kinds of characters that would like, literally their solution is like kill everything. Like attack everything, fight everything, kill everything. And a murder hobo isn't always bad. It's more like it depends on the player being able to like step back or like play them reasonably and not like completely destroy a campaign. Murder hobos are worse for a campaign than they are for a one shot. Usually for a one shot they're not that bad. But we'd done this whole thing, blah blah blah. G's group had been finished before mine. Because he got his room done, and so it was just me that was like trying to finish up mine. So they came over and watched because obviously we were in the middle of the game and they were curious, so they came and watched. As I was running the room, everybody got to the ending, and now both of the groups I had run this with had gotten to like the good ending where like they solve this curse or whatever, they find out the secrets and they find out the true story, and it's kind of just a wholesome ending where they get more gold than they would have had they just killed everything. So they are doing their thing. There was a whole like situation because B's character, because the other characters were all happy with like, yay, we did it, we killed the beast, whatever. Or not killed the beast, we like calmed the beast and we win. But B was upset. B in character, I should say, was upset because like, no, I want a prize. I want the head of this beast. I won't leave without it. So he tries to initiate combat again. But one of the characters thinks fast and casts sleep on him, and it works. And I should clarify, when this was happening, I had taken everything as being purely in character. Like, I wasn't angry at all. I wasn't like, oh, how dare you try to like ruin my campaign, or how dare you like try to do that, like you're so annoying. I thought it was just him playing in character, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was good banter, and I only bring this up because I'm going to mention it a bit in a second. So they but we were done, and when we finished, I give them their gold, I gave them the reward or whatever, and I was like, yay, we're done, and everyone started packing up to leave. I made the offhanded comment to my players at that point. I just, because I like kind of telling them the stuff that like I had planned or whatever, just for fun. Or like what could have happened had they done blank. So I was just casually telling them like, oh, like, you know, it's good that you got the good ending, because if you just killed it, then you would have gotten less gold or whatever. You have like less reward if you just kill it. And so G, having watched the end of this, makes some comment where it's like, well, that's not fair. You have to make it equally rewarding no matter which way they play. And I just paused a second. Now I want to just clarify this. I have no hard feelings against G. I find this story to be funny. I find it very funny. But it was, there's no hard feelings against G. He's a cool dude. This was just like probably not his brightest moment. Because I paused for a second while we were cleaning up, because I found that comment to be a little bit strange, that he would chastise me for not rewarding the players for killing everything. And I just turned to him and I go, okay, so if we have to be equally rewarding, then you can't punish players for being nice. And that was the end of the conversation. And I just like, the only reason I remember that is because, like, I'm normally not as, like, quick-witted as that in certain situations. I mean, even in, like, the actual situation, it wasn't an immediate response. It took me a second to think of that. Because I had to process, like, what he told me. But he, like, that's the only reason I even remember it, is just because I think it was funny. Because we never had a discussion after that or anything like that. It wasn't really that big of a deal. It was just something that it's just one of those things where I'm like, hey, just don't, like, everybody's allowed to play the way that they want. If they want to play where it's like, no, you have to murder everything, you can't be nice, that's fine. If you want to play where it's like, oh, I want everybody to be friends, I want my players to have a cute fantasy adventure, whatever, both, that's also nice. It's just don't criticize somebody for playing in a different way than you know, because, like, you don't think it's fair that they don't reward everybody for whichever way that they play if you aren't going to do the same thing in your own campaigns. But what I think what was funny about the story, though, is that at the time, I was a little upset. At the time, just because I thought that was kind of like a rude comment and a snide comment to make towards me, when, like, he had expressed so many times that, like, oh yeah, I'm making this entire thing because I don't want them to be nice. I want them, like, to kill everything, and if they try to be nice, I'm going to punish them. Like, and so I just thought it was a really stupid comment, and it made me feel a little irritated. But I was very quickly reassured, because I had the players in that session at that night telling me, like, that they loved it and they thought it was great. So I was, like, a little reassured. But especially because, again, I was also a new DM at the time, I should also say. So that was also probably a part of the reason why at the time it bothered me. But it was so funny, though, because later that night I was, like, back home, and I was just kind of, like, chilling, and the bee fucking, like, DM'd me on Discord afterwards, and he was just saying, like, hey, by the way, I'm really sorry, I did really have fun with your room, like, I'm sorry if that was, like, if it seemed like I didn't, or it seemed like I was being, an asshole for, like, trying to kill the thing. And I was like, oh, dude, you don't have to apologize. Like, you were not the problem. It's like, you were having fun, I was having fun, I took it in character, it was all good. But yeah, that's not, I wouldn't even call that, like, a horror story, because it's not really a horror story. It was all, I think it's just funny now. But yeah, that's, I guess, if anybody likes D&D stories. I'm sorry I just went into a whole short story there. I mean, if anyone has questions, you're still free to ask. But yeah, that was, I guess, my non-horror story, D&D story thing that happened, like, a little while ago. It wasn't really that notable. Just something I remember. Keep going, more stories. I mean, I don't really have many. I don't know if I have any, like, that are bad stories. I know bad stories are fun. I probably have some good stories, though. I have, oh my gosh. I'm so bad at remembering, like, really specific details of things. Like, especially when I'm telling a good story, just because, like, I have, like, they all blur together a little bit. I had, I guess I can say I had oh gosh, I also need to be careful, because there's, like, a few of them where I'm like, I don't want them to accidentally lead into a bad story. Oh, there is one. I used to have there was a one-shot that I ran once that I kind of want to run again, where it was, like, I had players who were in this, like, Minotaur maze type thing, which was really fun. Which was funny because it was one of my many one shots that was a quote unquote one shot that turned into, like, 5 sessions, which is just a recurring thing with me. I can't write one shots for shit. But I had we had a character in there that I fucking love them, man. I want to play with them again. Their name is Armani. I don't mind calling them out, because they're fine. But, like, because I was playing this, and we had a player called Armani, and she was, like, very new to game. Like, this was her first time playing in a session. So it was her first time making a character, all of that stuff, and she was so good, man. I want to play again with her so badly, because the character she made, I fucking loved her. She made this, was it a gnome? I want to say it was a gnome. I want to say she was a gnome. But she made a gnome monk who was like a chunky gnome monk, who is like very motherly and keeps stuff in her like giant bun that she had, just like a bunch of random shit. Um, she had, what was her name? I can't remember her name, oddly enough. I want it because I know her name was like unusual. I think her name was like Baby almost. Not Baby. No, it wasn't Baby. It was like, but it was something kind of like that. Something that was like technically a placeholder name, but she just kind of kept that name and it just stuck. Um, I don't quite remember. But she, God, it was so funny because she had, like, she was a very, like, chaotic character and stuff like that. I think she was chaotic good, I want to say. Um, but she had a whole thing because in the Minotaur Maze one, again, I want to run this one again at some point, someday. But there's the big thing about the Minotaur Maze one is that there is you are trapped in this maze and you have to find 4 gems to get out. But in the maze, I've technically put more than 4 gems. I think there were about 10 gems. And the only reason why there were 10 was because it was just giving players like a wide variety of options. So it wasn't relying them on having to explore every inch of the maze in order to find the gems. And there was like, you could get one for like killing the Minotaur that was running around. You could get one for like solving certain puzzles or fighting certain monsters or blah, 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 blah. But there was one gem that was hidden in a bush, essentially. There's like a hallway that leads to a dead end, and there's just a fucking like house plant at the end of this hallway. And I can't remember. I have it written down somewhere. I'd have to go back and look. I think it was like my ruling on it was that it was like this plant is sentient and that if you try to investigate, it tries to like push you away. And that you have to have like some kind of nature check. I can't quite remember. But what I do remember is I think fucking like this character that Armani played was like she tried to befriend the bush, I think. It was either that or she like she tried to take the bush and I can't quite remember what. But it was, I don't know, it was very, very funny. There was like a whole fucking escapade of her in this damn bush. There was like, I know I have more stories with her. She was a very funny character. There was one where she was, oh, I remember. She was there was another one where she was okay, cuz in the maze there's one puzzle in there where there's this cat that's walking around and around the cat's neck is a gem. And the whole catch is that this cat isn't going to like fight you or try to attack you. It's just that this cat is like slightly faster than you. So it's just going to keep trying to like keep ahead of you and like basically playing with you. And that like it wasn't aggressive or anything. It was just kind of a dick. And I remember it was this character, was her name Teeny? Her character name might have been Teeny. I don't remember. But she found this cat and started like following this cat to get the gem. And it was really funny because I think the way she described it, it was like Teeny was just kind of like slightly sternly following this cat, like, all right, now you come back here and give me that gem. And it was like, in this maze where a minotaur is trying to find you and kill you. And she fucking but it was so funny because then she mentioned also this is a little awkward because my character is allergic to cats. And I'm like, is that something you came up with before the campaign? And she was like, yeah, that was just something that was there. And I'm like, oh, she's allergic to cats. I can't believe it. I put a cat in the maze with the like one character that's allergic to cats. Gosh, that was a good one though. I love Armani. I want to play with Armani again. I would. It was just I have like a campaign I could have invited her to, but unfortunately she's like so busy right now with work, from what I've heard. So, but someday again I will because I've heard about other characters she's made for D&D and they're so fun. I had a session that kind of fell apart a little bit before it could happen, and I was so sad because she had to drop out of it, and that was part of the reason why I felt a little disheartened to play, because I had a character who was who was like tied to hers, because we had planned for that session that we both had characters that were siblings, and they were very close siblings. And their whole thing was that technically they were trying to find their mom, but only the older brother knew that, which is me. And the younger sister had, like, she thought they were just kind of on, like, going on adventure, going on a vacation. Like, she didn't realize that, like, their mom was in danger, like the older brother did. I think that's first from what I remember. But it was me and Armani. So Armani made the younger sister, I was the older brother. But the catch was that Armani lived in the place where all the Tabaxi and stuff live. So she was playing this little Tabaxi kid. And then you dropped out. I know, I'm sorry. Listen, it was just because of circumstance. Mitchie wasn't going to be able to play. Armani had to drop out because she got busy with work. At that point, it was like 2 players. So, like, I just didn't really feel super heartened to play. There's other, like, reasons, I guess, to why that I don't entirely want to mention on stream. But it was like, it was a bad circumstance. I'm still open to it, Flame. If you want to try and, like, do it again at some day, I'm still open to it, and you can invite me back. I would just have to make a new character for it is all, because I don't really want to run the same character when it was, like, literally tied in tandem with Armani's character. But there was but we had our whole thing, though. They were like, it was so funny because Armani's character was like this child Tabaxi because she lived with the Tabaxi. So obviously that makes sense. So what does Morgan make as an older brother character to this Tabaxi girl? Oh, a Minotaur monk who, like, washed up on the shores someday and was adopted by this Tabaxi mom and is convinced he's a cat. So, like, fuck God, I miss him. I miss you, Blossom. I need to revamp you for something else someday. I'd need to be, like, a total Scratch or something and, like, in a different world, because he was tied very closely to Armani's character. But there was a... God, I loved him so much. It was gonna be so fun, and that's just all I think, is, like, I wish... I want to play with Armani again someday. That's the moral of this story. Armani's a good player. She's very fun with the roleplay stuff and things like that. For the first session into a one-shot. Well, I mean, you're always free to invite me back, Flame. I don't really want to DM anything, just because I right now, I want to focus on the one campaign that I'm DMing right now. I don't want to get, like, too distracted with other things, but I'm always happy to be invited back. I've made jokes on Twitter that, like, if anyone ever invites me to a game, I'll just be like, sure, let's go. So long as it's not on, like, a school day, I can do it. Alright, I think I'm good on colors there. I think I'll stop with colors. Sky's here. Do I want to do this one? Maybe. There just are a lot of colors, though. I don't know if I want to do this one right. I might want to do one of the simpler ones, because I think I'm only going to do one more. Let's do this guy, and then I'll end it here with this one, just because I want to do it. I'm sorry, Sky. I will do it again whenever you have when you're in a stream next time, just because I want to do something slightly simpler right now, because I only want to do one more. What's your method of creating a schedule to play where your players actually show up? Well, my first strategy is, like, when you make a game, just have a schedule in mind. Like, have a day, have like some kind of time frame that you want to do it in first. Because that will make it a lot easier for you to find people who are like good to play. Because like I've had issues before where I'm like, yeah, I want like you and you to come like play this game or whatever, but then we all get there and we realize like we have no one day that lines up well. So I think having like, if you just decide beforehand where you're like, okay, I want to play it on Saturdays, I don't care what time, we'll figure that out, like that's better than just being like, yeah, let's just get like a whole group of strangers together and hope all of our schedules line up, because it almost never works out like that. Another thing though too is like, another thing that I found has killed a lot of sessions I've been in is like, sometimes as the DM, I will be in sessions, I will set everybody up and say, hey, like when you have some idea, like here's like a layout for you all. When you all like have character ideas or something, come talk to me and we'll like discuss it more. And then nobody ever says anything. So like as a recommendation, if you are a player in a session, please, 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 I beg of you, communicate with your DM when they ask you to. And even just in general, even if you have to like nag the DM and ask them like random shit, like anything, like like communication is better than no communication, in my opinion. Even if it's like a little bit too much sometimes. Also, this is, I don't know, if anyone has more, like, DM tips or whatever, I'm not, like, the most experienced DM, but I can try. What else do I have suggestions? As a DM, please, like, whenever you are making a session, don't just, like, offhandedly say the date and just kind of hope everybody's good. Like, check back with your players, send reminders, stuff like that. Make sure people are very, very aware when the game is happening, so they also have a lot of time to, like, realize, oh, no, wait, I can't do it that day. Also, unfortunately, this is kind of, like, advice that some people might not really want to hear, and it might be kind of intimidating to do this, but sometimes you have to be strict with your dates. Yes, it's going to suck. You are going to have instances where players are just going to ghost you and not tell you, like, when they're going to show up, or, like, not tell you that they can't show up that day, or not communicate with you. I had a session once that was had like 7 players or something like that. We were very like, reminded them a lot about what day it was going to be, and there was just one player that just never communicated with us. To this day, I never heard back from them. We literally, up until the day that the session happened, like, there was no communication with this player. We got to the day, everyone showed up, they just didn't appear. So we were like, hey, where are you? Where are you? We're gonna, like, we're playing, like, you haven't said anything all week. And at that point, I had to make the decision as the DM to say, like, hey, if they don't show up within 1 hour, we're just starting. We're just kicking them out of the campaign, because that's, like, bullshit that they don't show up for the first session without telling anybody. And, like, it wasn't just that either. They also had, issues with a friend of mine, Quan, because they were involved in a different project that Quan was doing, and apparently they had not been responding to her either, while they were regularly posting on Twitter, like, every fucking day. And while they were also, like, online on Discord, like, every day, but they just never said anything. So, like, something that you have to kind of learn as a DM is that if you have players who are, like, regularly miss stuff, or even if, like, even if it's not regularly, just sometimes you have to, like, be the asshole where it's like, hey, if you can't show up for a date when we've planned, like, super strict in advance, whatever, like, then we're just gonna have to play you. Like, I'll either, like, it's good to have a game plan and make sure everybody knows what the game plan is. Like, you know, for example, don't just play somebody's character unless, like, you've cleared it with them that, hey, if you're not here, I'm going to play your character for you, you know? Or discuss, like, hey, if there's a day where somebody can't show up and it's not, like, a big, big, important like, story thing, we're just gonna give your character the meta sickness, and your character just won't play that day. Because, like, unfortunately, something that kills campaigns very, very quickly is if dates for games are missed too many times and are too inconsistent, it can really kill the vibe. Unfortunately, that's how, like, my very, very first tabletop RPG session, like, campaign ended was because we could never have a consistent schedule. I've had other ones, like both real life and out of real life, that have ended because of that. It just sucks sometimes, but that's why sometimes as the DM you kind of have to be the asshole, where you're just like, where you be more strict about the times and dates that you play, especially if you don't play like weekly. It's actually kind of why, like, for me as a DM, I don't like, I now am pretty firm that I don't like playing with 4 people. I like playing with 5 or more, and that's just how I am. Which is different because some people actually can't handle more than 4, or they can't handle more than 5, which is understandable. I'm definitely like the odd one out here. But I found it's for like multiple reasons. One, I found that if you have 4 people and even 2 of those people are like shy and don't really like to role play, it's noticeable. And it gets a little bit frustrating when there's only like 2 people role playing the entire session. And it's not like that it's frustrating in the sense of like, oh, I wish they would talk. It's just like, it's really hard to make it fun for everyone else when it feels like there's only 2 characters ever in the spotlight. It's also why I kind of like having face cams. Again, face cams are something I started doing for online D&D for my own sessions without, like, not, for, again, multiple reasons. Multiple very complicated, some very personal reasons. But they, like, but like for me, not only is the role playing difficult when you only have like 2 people, because if 2 of them are shy, it just becomes very noticeable when there's only 2 people talking ever, and it can make the group dynamics a little bit boring, you know what I mean? Which is also just something that you have to figure out, like you have to balance it. I like having face cams. One of the many reasons I like having face cams more is that, like, for example, Chinima's here. I am in a campaign with Chinima. We do it with face cams. It's a very fun one. Chinima is not the most outspoken person. She's not somebody who's prone to speaking over people like I might be if I really, really want to say something. But what she'll do, because we have face cams, is she'll literally just raise her hand, and we all know that she wants to talk. So, like, stuff like that is honestly very, very helpful. And it helps me not feel so bad if and feel like I'm leaving people out when it comes to role play sort of stuff, or like I feel like I'm ignoring people on accident. But yeah, I also, another reason why I don't like playing with 4 people is because if one person in a group of 4 has to miss a campaign, you'll notice that 3 just gets too small too quickly, because then you have that one person who's missing. All it takes is one more person to be missing, and you're a DM running a full session for half your party. Like, it just kind of grabs attention. The mics are a mess. It helps. Yeah, I agree too. And again, I have a lot of reasons why I strongly prefer the face cams. Like, ever since I started doing my current campaign with face cams, I don't think for me as a DM I'll go back. I'll be fine as a player in campaigns if they're not with face cams. I'm not like that kind of strict. But for me, running campaigns, all of my campaigns are going to be with face cams from now on. I think they're just way more helpful, and they just get rid of a lot of problems that I've had. Because the 2 like online D&D horror stories I have, I think face cams would have helped both of those significantly, and there may have never been a problem if we would have had them, but that's besides the point. But yeah, this is just stuff you learn. Again, I'm still like technically a young DM, so like there's a lot of stuff that I'm still kind of like learning and growing, and it's all just a learning process. It's a growth process. But yeah, so sometimes just as a DM, you just kind of have to be the asshole with schedules. But that's also why, like, for me, I recommend, like, the perfect group numbers for D&D campaigns are, like, 5 or 6. It's, like, not too many to where everybody can kind of be a star, but it's also not too little to where you're gonna, like, run into a lot of problems if just, like, one person becomes an issue. You know what I mean? Plus, with larger groups, especially if you're playing with, like, strangers, I find they can be nice, because if there is ever a situation where somebody might be an asshole or there's like a problem player in the group, then like, if you kick them out, it's not going to completely destroy and unbalance your campaign. It's an easy thing to work around. Which is like, that's a very much like worst case scenario kind of thing. But yeah, it's all just personal. Everybody's different. I completely understand why some people actually prefer running like way smaller groups. But for me as a DM, if I can ever help it, I will never run a group smaller than 4 if I can help it. Or smaller than 5, I should say. 5 is a nice number. 5 and 6 are nice numbers for me as a DM. I'm in such a D&D mood, man. I have been like all week. Ever since having like that really good session last Friday, not like yesterday, but like last Friday. I've been like in such a D&D kick and I've been super inspired, which is great when you're writing your next campaign. Not great when you just continuously have ideas for more campaigns. To be honest, my biggest regret right now is that I didn't stream the current campaign that I have. I thought about it, but then I thought like, nah, I don't really want to do that. That's too much of a hassle. I should just focus on the campaign. It's been a while since I DM'd anyway. And I totally regret it because it's such good content. It's so fun. I'll do it next time. I won't make that mistake again. Next time I stream with like friends that I know, I'll stream it, or I play, I should say. I would have to figure out how, because I can't stream it from my iPad, so I'd have to figure out I'd have to be a little sneaky with how I do it, but might have to become a disembodied DM, but that's okay. It's more important that the players be seen anyway. I'm more of I am the faceless narrator of the story. I don't know. I'd find a way. I'd buy a webcam if I had to. For my computer, I should say. Because normally when I do it, it's on my iPad, but my iPad doesn't like just connect to my computer like that, so but I can't stream from, well, I can stream from YouTube to my iPad to YouTube like I'm doing right now, but I couldn't stream a fucking D&D campaign to YouTube from my iPad. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just tired. Oop. That layer wasn't locked. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, I think that looks pretty nice. Pretty finishable. Okay, so I've gotten 3 done now. Would you look at that? Let me just clean these up a little bit, just a teeny weeny bit. There we go. Okay. So with that, I think I will end the stream here. I will be back soon to stream and color more of these. I still have 6 more to go. So maybe next stream I'll try and get 3 more of these done.